G'day. So we've rebuilt our 4L30 transmission, and we're still having issues after rebuild with fault codes and things not working properly. So I've got the range sensor off, or the inhibitor switch, the olden days, and with these particular range sensors you can actually pull them apart. So what do we got? T15, just loosen all these. Always loosen them first by hand, otherwise if you just take them off with a tech gun you can damage the little points on the head there. You can see there's something, looks like there's oil coming out of it. Shouldn't have oil in there. Whoa, look at that. Now, I'd bet that that's causing some of the issue there. I don't know how that oil got in there, but it's in there, and you can see how dirty that is as well. Looks like gritty, grimy stuff in there. Oh no, it looks like it's had grease in there, but somewhere along the way oil has entered that and gummed it all up. So we'll clean all that out. Now we've just got some clean solvent there. You can see it is worn, but until we put it all back together we'll see if it actually still working or not. Some quite deep grooves there. Now someone may have tried to fill it up with oil along the way. I don't know how that oil got in there. Just be careful with that one there. There's a little spring under there. When you're blowing it out or cleaning it, just sort of sport it. You can see those contacts are worn right down as well, so it might not be salvageable, especially that one there, worn right down. These little contacts here, you can bend them up just to put a little bit more pressure on there, but don't go crazy with it, otherwise they'll wear out too quickly. Now that little tube there, that's a little breather tube, just so it's not completely sealed and it can burn off any condensation. So somewhere along the way someone may have squirted a bit of oil in there. Now we're on the êADG manual for L30E transmission, and they have a square plug and a round plug. And you can see those circuits correspond to each other. And here we are on the shop manual, and you can see pins A, B, C, how they work, going through all the ranges. And there's a position of each of the selections there on your T-bar. You've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, third, second, first, and they correspond to those pins there. Yeah, if you can see that It's pretty worn there, especially that one just there, and that one is very worn. If you're doing this yourself, you'd give it a crack, clean it up, put it back together, put a bit of lithium grease or dielectric grease in there just to lubricate it, put it all back together and try it. But I'm lucky I've got an old one here that I've saved, and what I can do is I can either swap that plate over there. That one looks like it's in better nick. You can see, if you compare them, how that one's very worn on the one we've got. That one's a lot better in condition, and the same as that. So I can either swap the whole thing out or just swap these little plates over. There is a little spring under there as well. I don't like how they're all uneven. I like to, I've already bent these up a little bit, tiny little bit, but you want to have them all sort of in a straight line. So I might give this one a go. That's if this isn't too worn in here and there's a contact in there. And that one, you can see that's the old one. It's probably in better nick. So maybe I should even use this half and that little sweeper and just reuse the cover. Okay, so I've cleaned that one up a bit. We're going to use the better one of the two, which is this one. You can see the sweepers running quite nicely there. These ones probably could be bent up a little bit more because they don't seem to be touching there. These are touching nicely. You can see like a groove where it's wearing the grease. It's important to not go overboard when you're bending those up a bit. Bit of a squirt on there too. Because that runs in that housing there. There we go. There we go. You can see it's doing a nice little groove there. There we go. Cover. Get a little bit of grease there just in case the back of that's rubbing on the housing. Little bit of grease there where it runs in there. Put it back together. And you always tighten it by hand. You don't have to go too crazy, it is just plastic going into alloy. We've just got to swap over this bracket here. And the way we do that, just press those little tangs in. You push one in and then push the other one in. And that just pops out like that. Then this little plastic bit just slides out like so, slide it into the one that we're using, and we just clip that back on. And there we go, that's ready to put back in the vehicle and to try. Good idea to give those contacts a bit of a squirt with the grease, and also in here on the shaft, sometimes it rusts in there and yeah, a bit hard to get off. If it rusts too badly, you can actually damage the switch when you have to get it off. Anyway, hope that helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave any comments or suggestions in the section below. Throw us a beer if this saves you a bit of money too. These switches are hard to source currently, so I was lucky I had one. Thank you for watching.